One! The hitchhiker's reflection. It was past midnight, and the rain was coming down in sheets as I drove through the desolate stretch of highway between two small towns. My headlights cut through the gloom, illuminating nothing but endless trees and the wet asphalt. Then I saw him, a figure by the side of the road, hunched over, his thumb out. He was soaked, but something about his stillness, even in the downpour, gave me a shiver against my better judgment. Primera pulled over. He got in, muttering a thank you, and settled into the passenger seat. He was a young guy, maybe early 20s, wearing a faded hoodie. He didn't say much, just gave me the name of a town about 50 miles up. The silence was heavy, broken only by the rhythmic swish of the wipers. A few minutes later, I glanced at the rearview mirror to check the road behind me. That's when I saw it. His reflection in the mirror wasn't right. It was distorted, elongated, almost like a shadow, stretching and twisting. But the most chilling part was that his reflection was grinning. A wide, unnatural smile that didn't match the blank, tired expression on his actual face sitting beside me. My heart hammered. I gripped the steering wheel, trying to keep my eyes on the road, but I couldn't resist another quick look. The reflection was still there, still grinning, its eyes black pits. I felt a cold dread creep up my spine. I started speeding up, my foot heavy on the accelerator. The silence in the car became unbearable. Finally, I reached the turnoff for his town. I pulled over abruptly, almost throwing him forward. "This is it," I said, my voice tight. He looked at me, his face still expressionless, and simply nodded. He got out, and as he closed the door, I risked one last glance in the rearview mirror. The reflection was gone, but as I sped away, I couldn't shake the feeling that something had been left behind. A lingering chill that still makes me check my mirrors twice whenever I drive alone at night. 2. The endless road. My buddy Mark and I were on a road trip, driving cross. We decided to take a scenic route through some national forests, figuring it would be more interesting than the interstate. As night fell, we found ourselves on a narrow, winding road, completely enveloped by dense woods. There were no streetlights, no other cars, just us and the beam of our headlights. We'd been driving for what felt like hours, and the gas gauge was getting dangerously low. "We should have hit a town by now," Mark mumbled, checking the GPS on his phone. "No signal. Great." Then we saw a small, weathered sign, barely visible in the dark. It pointed down a dirt track, reading Gasson Lodge. 5 miles. Relief washed over us. We turned off the paved road, the tires crunching on gravel. 5 miles came and went. Then, the road was still the same, winding through the trees. No sign of a lodge or gas station. We started to get uneasy. "This can't be right," Mark said, his voice strained. "We've gone way too far." We decided to turn back. I found a spot wide enough to make a 3-point turn and headed back the way we came. But the road looked exactly the same. The trees were identical. The curves felt familiar. Yet we never seemed to reach the paved highway. We drove for another half hour, the sense of dread growing with every passing minute. It was like the road was endless, looping us back on ourselves, trapping us in a dark, silent maze. Panic began to set in. We were almost out of gas, and the air in the car felt heavy, suffocating. Just as I was about to give up hope, the road suddenly opened up. We were back on the paved highway, right where we'd turned off. The gas and lodge sun now facing the other direction, still barely visible. We drove straight to the nearest town, filled up the tank, and never looked back. We still can't explain what happened on that dirt road. It felt like we were driving through a pocket of time, a place where the rules of distance and direction simply didn't apply. And to this day, neither of us will ever take a scenic route after dark again. 3. The unseen passenger. I was driving home late one night after a long shift. Probably around 2 a.m. The highway was deserted, and I was looking forward to getting into bed. My car's old, and sometimes the passenger door lock acts up, rattling a bit if it's not fully engaged. I usually just ignore it. About halfway home, I heard it again. The faint rattling from the passenger door. I reached over, planning to push the lock down, but my hand brushed against something cold. I froze. It felt like a bare arm. My blood ran cold. I slammed on the brakes, heart pounding, and spun my head to the passenger seat. There was nothing there. Absolutely nothing. The seat was empty, the door was closed, and the lock was down. I must have imagined it. Primera told myself, nerves frayed from exhaustion. I took a deep breath and started driving again, trying to calm down. But then, a few minutes later, I heard a soft sigh coming from the passenger side. It was faint, almost like a whisper of air, but it was distinctly there. And then, a moment later, the rattling started again. This time, I didn't stop. I couldn't. I gripped the wheel, my knuckles white, and stared straight ahead. I felt an undeniable presence beside me, a cold spot in the car, a weight on the seat that wasn't visible. I could almost feel eyes on me, watching. Every shadow seemed to shift. Every sound of the wind outside seemed to carry a faint chilling murmur. I drove faster than I ever had, my eyes darting to the rearview mirror, half expecting to see something materialize. Primera! But the feeling of being accompanied, of having an unseen passenger, stayed with me until I pulled into my driveway. I practically bolted out of the car and into my house, locking the door behind me. I never found an explanation for that night. Was it thus my imagination playing tricks on me in the dead of night? Or was there something that decided to hitch a ride in my car, unseen but undeniably there? I still check my passenger seat every time I get into my car at night. Hust, to be sure.